What's going on, guys? Editor Ethan here, and I actually just corrupted the files for my intro in this video, so I'm not going to have an intro, but basically in today's video, I'm going to be going over exactly how I was able to buy Instagram theme pages and flip them for a major profit, and how you can do it too. So make sure you guys watch this video to the very end. I'm going to go ahead and throw you guys right back over to the original files, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Peace out. I'm also going to make sure later in this video to go into my phone and show you guys some DM conversations of how I was able to buy Instagram theme pages, so you know a general how-to basis on how to buy a page. I'm also going to make sure to go over how to find pages, how much you can make doing this, and how to avoid scams, so make sure you guys stay tuned until the end of the video. So getting right into the video, I've gotten a lot of questions about this side hustle because there's a lot of people interested in buying and selling Instagram theme pages, but they're stuck on some of the steps, and it's surprisingly hard to find a really good deal on a page and not get scammed. So that brings us into the first step on how to find an Instagram theme page to buy. So there's a ton of the buy and sell Instagram page websites on the internet, but I wouldn't recommend buying from those pages. Now there is a lot of people on those websites trying to sell Instagram pages, and most of the time you won't get scammed using those websites if you really wanted to, because they're pretty trustworthy and they know how to secure the accounts. But the problem with these websites is that people are just too eager to sell their page. And if the people are just going out of their way to sell their Instagram page on one of these websites, it's more than likely that there's either something wrong with their page, or they just really need the money and they're trying to sell it super fast. But I wouldn't recommend doing these websites because people are probably just trying to get the page off their hands, because the pages either aren't getting as many followers as they want, or the engagement is slowly going down and they know they'll be able to get a quick buck for it right now before the page is completely dead. So you kind of just want to avoid those websites, and I'm going to show you guys a way easier way to find pages to buy here just in a second. So you really want to find somebody who isn't actively trying to sell their Instagram page, because then you know their engagement isn't really going down and they're still posting on the page, not really looking to sell it at that exact moment, because chances are the page is still doing really good for them and it's profitable, so they're going to keep it as long as they can until they get a really good offer, which is where you come in. And finding one of these pages is really just as simple as DMing them. So just look around on Instagram, find a couple pages that are in your follower range and in your niche, and just hop into their DMs, start asking if they're willing to sell the page, and basically just send a DM like, hey, are you down to sell this page, or would you be willing to sell this page, something like that. And most of the time after you send a DM similar to that, the pages are going to be pretty curious and ask you for an offer, which is where you're going to go ahead and give them an offer for your price. So in my opinion, when you're buying Instagram pages to resell, I would say spend $500 max, because that's at the point where you're getting a really high follower page, but you're not cutting yourself short at all, and you can have a little bit of wiggle room to not have to get that money back instantly. And look for pages in the follower range from 40 to 60,000 followers. That way you're not spending too much money on an Instagram page. $500 is a pretty good range and it's a really high price point, and then you're still getting a really high follower page from 40 to 60,000 followers, and with that kind of money you're going to be able to get a really good engagement rate on the pages, and I can almost guarantee after finding the right person you'll be able to make a really good profit on these pages. Sometimes you can even flip these pages for up to double the price that you paid. I also forgot to mention that if you get a page within the 30 to 40,000 follower range, it's going to be really easy to get it to over 100,000 followers, because it's just a matter of time before your posts are going viral every time, and it's really just a walk in the park. All you really have to do is just continue posting, be consistent, and then it'll be easy to grow. And that's why I like holding the pages, growing them in the future, and then flipping them for so much more. So before you go ahead and jump ahead and try to find an Instagram page from 40 to 60,000 followers, you want to make sure they have at least a 30% engagement rate. That way you know they get good likes, they get good comments, and the engagement is really good to where you'll be able to resell the page in the future and still be able to gain more followers. So basically, to calculate the engagement rate on an Instagram, you can take the long way route and use a physical calculator, and you can calculate the average likes on every single post and the average comments and put it all together to get a percentage. Or you can just go on Google and search up Instagram engagement calculator, and it's really easy. You just give them the username of the account and they'll tell you the engagement rate, the comments, average likes, average followers, and it's pretty easy to spot the engagement rate from there. So a few tips to finding the right Instagram page to resell is to make sure you have a profitable niche. I wouldn't recommend going into meme pages or other pages that don't really have a big profit margin, because then it's just not worth it to resell, and I wouldn't recommend doing it. If it's something that looks good, like the survival niche, luxury niche, or something like dogs, that's a really good page to invest in, because there is products to sell and some other advertisements you can do on those pages, and there is a lot of money to be made in those kind of niches. And that's really where the selling point changes. You can probably buy a 100,000 follower meme page for a couple $100, probably like $200 to $300, but if you were to buy a 100,000 follower luxury page, you'd probably be paying over $1,000, so it's a really big difference. You also want to make sure the niche isn't super saturated. For example, if you're going to buy a 30,000 follower dog page, you want to make sure where you're going to be selling the page and who you're going to be advertising it to. You really want to make sure there's not like 10 other people selling 30,000 follower dog pages, because then they can choose from any of them, and chances are one of the pages is either going to be cheaper than yours or have better engagement than yours, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. Make sure you don't have a oversaturated niche and it's not that popular. So now if you find a page, you want to make sure you get a good price on the page, and you want to avoid getting scammed. So first, as I mentioned before, when you ask someone if they're going to sell their page, most likely they're going to ask for you to give them an offer, and once they ask you for an offer, what you're going to do is lowball them, like a lot. Not too much to where they're going to ignore you, but you want to lowball them enough to where you're going to be getting a good price price if they try to talk you up a little bit. For example, if it's a 50,000 follower dog page with a 40% engagement rate, you don't want to be offering $75 for it, because at that point that's just disrespectful. No one's going to take your offer seriously and you're probably just going to be ignored. But an example of a good lowball is, let's take that same 50,000 follower dog page with 40% engagement, and we'd want to offer maybe $200, maybe $250, because they're not going to completely ignore you, but they're going to take you a little more serious because you're starting to get to the price range to where the page is actually going to end up selling. But the reason you're lowballing them is because 90% of the time, all pages are going to talk you back up and try to get a little bit more money out of you. Because if that page is worth like $400 and you offer them $300, they're going to be able to talk you up to $350, and that's the lowest they're going to go. But if the page is worth $400 and instead of offering $300 you offer $200, then they may talk you up to $250 instead of $350. So then you can take that offer at $250 and you're saving another $100. So make sure you just lowball them a little bit more than what you're intending to pay for the page, so you can make sure to make as much money as possible. And then you're going to go ahead and send the money through PayPal, buy the page, and you'll be set. And I'm not going to cut you short on how to buy the page. In a second, like I said, I'm going to go through my DMs to show you guys how I bought the page and further explain how to be safe with sending the money. So once you have the Instagram page, you're going to start getting it ready to flip. So what you're going to want to do is make the page look better than how you got it. Maybe spice up the profile picture a little bit, change the bio, clean up some dirty ugly posts, and just overall clean up the look of the page, which can heavily impact the selling price. And now after you've done that, you're left with two options. You can either instantly sell the page for a little bit of a profit, or you can either hold it for a couple weeks, try to build it up a little bit more, gain some followers, get some engagement back, and then sell it for an even bigger profit, which is personally what I like to do. I like to get a page, build it up a little bit, gain some followers, make the page look nicer. So if I bought the page for 30,000 followers, I'm gonna post on it for a couple weeks and hopefully get it to 35,000 followers or 40,000 followers, and then I'd sell it for an extra like $300 profit. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go on my DMs on Instagram, trying to find a conversation to where I was looking to buy a page and show you guys how the process went and how I bought a page safely. Okay, so kind of backtracking on what I said, I actually can't find any DMs of me talking to someone and buying a page, so I'm gonna kind of skip that process right now. But if I can find those DMs later when I'm editing the video, I'll make sure to put those clips in right now. But before we go ahead and end this video, a couple things I'm gonna say is make sure you pay goods and services on PayPal. Friends and family, you have no way of getting your money back, and no matter what excuses they make, you're always gonna want to pay through goods and services, because then if you somehow do get scammed on the page, you're gonna be able to make a PayPal claim and get your money back. But friends and family, if you send the money, they can instantly take it and then you get scammed. So I wouldn't recommend doing that at all. And then also make sure you get the OG email with the page, because then if you just get the page, change the email that it's linked to, the person with the original email with the page is gonna get a link to reset the password. Even though you already changed the email, it's gonna be able to change it back. So you're gonna want to take the OG email, change the password for the original email, change the recovery email, because if they have a recovery email on there, they're gonna be able to log back in, which is a no-go. And then you're gonna change the password on the Instagram account. You're gonna change the phone number and the email. Even though you still have access to the original email, you're gonna want to link it to a separate email just in case. So I hope this video helped you guys out with Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.